So, I'm going to talk to you about Inspira Technologies. IINN is the ticker. On October 26th, it went crazy, it went up 400%. And the reason why was this press release. You could see this was the catalyst. Also, the setup was amazing. So, as soon as this came out, I think there were some things that are worth looking at. Number one is like the keywords. So enters Europe. So that's obviously a huge deal. They're entering another continent as their strategy. Then they're signing a strategic agreement with this group for the deployment of 1,000 art systems. So there's a lot of money involved in this deal, $66 million over a 7-year period. And that's pretty much it. I think the bulk of this article, why it's really powerful, is the fact they're getting millions of dollars. Like, that's what long investors are going to gravitate to, or bots, or not bots, but like algos, like computer traders. That's what they picked up on, and then they just shot this thing and up to like 400%. So that was at 9:54 a.m. So reading the article and being bullish on it was a very key thing to do. You had to have this, if you had this underlying idea that, oh, the news is great, it's going to go up. Even though, it already went up a bit, unless you're using a computer to trade, you're probably not. But you had to be bullish at even this point, because notice how it never goes back to this 2.3 level ever. It just keeps going up. So it was trending up the entire day. So there was that. The underlying bullish feeling of the article was important. Another thing that was kind of important, probably very important, I don't know, but FinViz, do I have that anywhere? Let me just double check. It doesn't look like I have it anywhere. Oh, I do. Okay, so the float was 5.16 million. That's a really small float. And then another thing, if you looked at FinViz or you look at your chart, and you just zoomed out of your chart, but FinViz shows you the long-term view. This was in a downtrend since, I don't know when this was, August? Yeah, or no, sorry, July 2021. So it was in a long-term downtrend. It's basically like the setup looks beautiful. It's like waiting to explode. So it exploded, and had the news comes out, it would have exploded to, let's say, 2.5, 2.6. It didn't just go all the way up to 9 in 1 second. This is a day view. So when it was breaking out, there are 2 times to get in. From that big perspective, there's one, on this day when it was breaking out. There's 2 on the pullback. You could have sold over here, and then that's pretty much it. Those are I don't know if this is going up or down or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I feel like, these were the 2 great times to get in this stock. Now that I think about it, maybe this will pass 9. I don't even know. Anyways, so the things I want to talk about. How should you trade on this? So number one, I would say is there were some good opportunities, like very, very fast, quick opportunities where you could have used support and resistance. So support, there was some support over here. The stock hit this line. I don't like the red color for support. I like green. It hit this line. So once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then from there it just flew out of range. Went crazy. And then I would say the line that it hit the most for resistance was this line at $7.88. Hit the line, fell down, hit the line, fell down, and then it actually went back up and it just smashed the resistance and kept going up. And then, then resistance turned into, I guess it turned into support for 1 second, but for the most part, yeah, it did turn to support. And then it was just resistance again, and it never got back up to that level. So support and resistance, I felt like these were some areas where you could have employed it, because you saw that, okay, tap once there, tap the second time there. It's actually bouncing off of it. And then, no, it didn't bounce off it immediately, but it it did actually show like this past support level was respected, and then it, you know, flew. So that's it for support and resistance. Then there was trend line, okay? There was this great trend line. If you had caught it, pretty much you would have been in the money. Hold on, let me just push this up. If you had drawn this and you saw it, you know, if you actually, yeah, well, I would say it was more like this line, because you could see here, if you close up, you can see here that support is actually rising. So there is sort of a trend line that's happening. So you have this, you know, when you have an uptrend line, you want to join the bottoms with the bottoms. How did that? Oh, that's why. Okay. You might have wanted, like, I will draw like multiple just so you guys can, you know, let's be realistic here. Let's make truthful, honest trend lines. I would have drawn this on the day of. I would have saw bounce here, trend lines being respective, flew up, okay? So these two bounces, nice times to buy, for sure. Then it just exploded at 10:56. I don't think anyone expected that, unless you read the news and you were like, wow, great news. And also, you know, everything, the long-term setup and everything. So now there's a new trend line. It was more like this. And then if you were bullish on this line, you would have been good. So, you know, it didn't want to touch it anymore. Very bullish sign, flew up, still never touched it, just kept flying up. So it was very hot, clearly. Next thing I want to talk about is Golden Cross. I could quickly, okay, so I've showed you where the trend lines were good for a buy, but then conversely, you also want to know where it's good for a sell. So, you know, there's a trend line here. This is like, I'm getting tighter and tighter. I would say the major trend lines are the ones that are going to hit lots of waves. So there's one here, because it hits, you know, multiple times these waves. So 1, 2, almost 3, 4, 5. So 5 troughs. Then it starts to dig in further, and I would be kind of like, even though it did go higher, I would be a little more bearish when you see that the stock is breaking out. It may be a hint that the stock wants to fall, and that kind of pretty much happened here. It did fall afterwards. So yeah, I would sell around, I mean, if I was waiting for the last moment to sell, which is totally not a bad idea, but you know, when this starts to happen, I would be very worried, and I would want to sell ASAP. I would like, sure, I would sell it over here. Okay, if it flies, I don't care. Like, the same thing, you know what? I have to be careful about what I say, because like, look what happened here. It fell through the trend line, and then it ended up exploding. So, I guess I've always said this to myself in the past. The most recent trend line is always going to be the one that you should be relying on. So, because trend lines change often. So, you know, it was respecting this trend line over here. You guys saw that. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw that the price is hitting this. And then as soon as it fell, it switched trends. It reversed. So these were great selling points. When it was very high, volume was very high, that's when you wanted to sell. Okay, this video is getting long, but I'll still try to keep it short if I can. So, Golden Cross Up. Golden Cross Up was a good time. When you saw the Golden Cross Up, it was a good time to say, okay, let's get bullish on the stock. And then conversely, let's get bearish on the stock when Golden Cross was down. Next, MACD. MACD told you where the bulk of the moves were. Oh, this is my other, that's my algo. I want to show you the slow algo that I have, and basically the slow algo, I give you the formula for it. It's just MACD crossing under and over 0. When MACD is over 0, I'm sure some of you technical traders know this. When MACD is over 0, the stock is really bullish, like it was over here. All this, the bulk of the move from today, from October 26th, from $3.25 all the way up to $7.89. All that happened while MACD was green, and it was not while MACD was green. It was over 0, and that's what this green signal is for. It tells me to go. It tells me, like, you know, stop, go. Okay, go, buy, go long. And then, yeah. So this means like look for a breakout, basically. Look for a bullish breakout. I guess the same thing is true for, the opposite direction. This was a time to short it. This was another good time to short it. And you can see or good times to buy and sell were. So if you bought over here, you sold over here, you bought over here again. I personally would not use this for buy and sell. I would use this for like, okay, you should go long somewhere now. Like you should start looking for a position to take, a long position to take, if you haven't already. Okay, so that's it for MACD. That's what MACD tells me. I could show you the algo of what the algo said. Algo said, oh, this is a crazy algo, isn't it? Because my inputs are 1 and 2. Yeah, the 1 and 2 is like, it's basically, you won't get tons of signals, and they're pretty decent. They're not always perfect, but you could generally make money off of these signals. So that's why I've kept them here. That's why I've set it to 1 and 2. See, it says to like basically, take a small loss here. Take a small loss. Oh, this is actually probably, this could be good. Buy here, sell here. This was a really good one. Buy here at 333, sell here at 529. That's pretty good. Then it said buy here at this area and then sell here at this area. That's also a really good area. So this algo that I created, it works pretty well. Look, it said to sell here at 8:15. Didn't say to get back in until there was some kind of fluctuation in this little range. And then look, it says to sell over here at 7:16. And then the stock just fell. And then there was some BS movement over here. And basically just a lot of BS. But when it was moving like making big moves, it gave some pretty decent signals. This is pretty shit, but if I want more accurate signals, I will get more of them. And it's a little confusing sometimes. So I'll show you, this is the sharper signals. So you can see here that, there's a lot of signals. One thing that I've noticed is that when a stock price is over EMA 5, I think it is, or EMA 10. Hold on, let me see how am I doing for time. Oh, I'm kind of over time. Okay, so I'll quickly, yeah, I was gonna say that, notice how these triangles are red. That's generally a very bullish sign, and you may not even want to sell. I bet if I put this on Bitcoin, I'll probably get a lot of red triangles. And that just means the stock is going down while the stock price is over EMA 5. So that's a very bullish sign. And then here it was a little bearish. The stock price was down and it was under EMA 10. But then, same thing happens here. You're going to see probably a lot of purple over here. Oh, there's 1, 2. Okay, so there's some pretty serious ones over here. Serious ones over here. And then I guess you could look for like a giant breakout, but never happened until this point. So that's it for MACD. That's all I want to talk about. MACD is very related to my algo normal. That's like pretty complex, but it's not everything. So I don't know. Just it's related to MACD. So that's why I want to talk about MACD. Secondly, last thing I want to talk about is quickly, I'll try to talk about balance of power and EMA crosses, or whether EMA 10 is below EMA 20, and volume. So volume, TradingView has a nice volume indicator. This isn't it, but it's very close to it. And it comes with a SMA 20, a line that tracks the past 20 average of the volume, right? So each volume bar. So then there's this line, and basically what I noticed was, see, I've highlighted where volume was over that SMA 20 and where it was under. And basically what I noticed was when it was over, it was a great time to sell, and when it was under, it was a great time to buy. I'm not saying this is like black and white, you have to make your decisions like this, but it can help a lot. Secondly, so I went, the extra mile, and I looked for confluence. The actual meaning of the word confluence is like merging of two rivers or some shit like that. But basically what I look at it like is when one indicator is agreeing with another. So I took 3 indicators. I took balance of power. I took when EMA 10 is greater than EMA 20. I find that, you know, EMA 10 and 20, if you use them for buy and sells, like I don't know if I have it here, but you can get some. Yeah, I do. So if I go like, I think it's, was it this guy? I think it's this guy. This guy. No, wait, no. It's this guy and this guy. I'm pretty sure these are EMA 10 and EMA 20. So you can see here there's buy, sell, buy. You can see how effective this is. It's quite effective. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I would say it is pretty effective, especially when the trend or the movement of the stock is quite clear. It works nice. It's an EMA, exponential moving average. So let's go back to that. So now I have a bunch of these lines coming up. I'll get rid of them for 1 second to explain what they are. So the top is balance of power. This line you can see at the top I've created, it's a balance of power. I noticed when I was using my indicator of balance of power that before a buy signal came in, that was a good time to buy, and before a sell signal came in, that was a good time to sell. So I basically like had these areas where it was you know, good time to buy and good time to sell. Then I had EMA 10 and 20, and I noticed that this was a good time to buy, and this was a good time to sell, and this was a good time to buy over here. This was a good time to sell over here, a good time to buy over here, good time to sell over here. So I looked for confluence between the 2 indicators, this one and this one. Then I looked for confluence even more to see whether volume agreed with these indicators. So that's how I got these signals, the background colors. So it actually is pretty amazing. I looked for the best buy area around this area, and I was like, it's over here. I turned on the indicator, and the confluence found it. It said this was the best buy area, right over here and here. And basically what's happening here is balance of power is saying this is a good buy area. EMA 10 and 20 are saying this is a good buy area. Kind of looks like, no, it is, yeah. And then also volume was under here, and this was a really hard area to catch as a nice buy area, but it caught it, the indicator caught it. So it's a good buy over here, and then if you'd sold over here, 7.52 versus 5.9, pretty amazing trade. Then you have this buy area. This was a really encouraged buy area. 3.21, and then you could have sold at 3.91. You could have sold at this area 4.92. I wonder what is this, like what is the difference between this lime green and this oh, that's what it was. So you have this 3.27, right? Then you'll have this 3.48. Like 3.48 is more than 3.27 for sure. You're still making a profit. But if you had waited till this like really bright purple area or bright what is it, fuchsia, then this is an amazing point to sell at. So if you're buying on the lime green and you're selling on the fuchsia, you can make really good money in general. So look, if I had done that over here, 5.97 versus 6.81 or 7.44. See what I mean? So that was awesome. Now, I could look for more stuff to talk about, like my super trend. I think that's an excellent indicator. Trying to sell right before you have strong sell signals is amazing. You won't always get them, but like I see them often, and usually I see them like in company with each other. So like you won't get like one strong sell signal, but you get 2. So and right after another. So it'll be like high, strong sell signal, high, strong sell signal, and then again high, strong sell signal, high. So it's almost like, let's say you sold over here, or no, let's say you didn't sell over here, you forgot or you missed it and you're too slow. And you're like, oh, damn it. It's almost like an insurance kind of thing. I wouldn't look at it like that. Maybe that's a bad way to say it, but I like to sell before the strong sell signal. I think if you sold here, that's still a good gain. I think if you sold here, that's even better for sure. And then the same can be said about this area. If you had sold here at 2.825, or what is it, 2.83, versus, let's say anything over here, 2.5, whatever, that's still good. That's not bad. But then if you had waited even more, then you're greedy and you'll get a better selling price for sure. So I didn't talk about RSI. What I can say is I have a unique indicator that I created. The last thing I promise is the last thing I'll talk about. I spent a few days on this indicator and I tried to combine MACD with RSI because I didn't want to look at MACD all the time and RSI. I felt like there's too much playing around. Like I don't want to think too much. I want to like just have very simple. I want my indicators to be pretty simple. So like my chart, if I'm trading in real time, wouldn't look like this. It wouldn't look like this. It might look like this. I might take off these dots over here. I would probably, I might get rid of this, or I might overlay it. I don't think I'd overlay it though. I would probably get rid of it. I'll go like this, like that. And then I wouldn't even want this line here. I just do this. It probably looks something like this, to be honest. Like this is good enough for me. You can see here like RSI is super hot, very red over in these areas. So these are pretty good times to sell. You're really pushing your luck when you're waiting for it to reach the highest point. But again, it's pretty low over here. Trend lines. This might be like kind of annoying, so I might reduce the the transparency. I can do that. And honestly, I would do this by code. It would be 2 seconds, and it would affect all of these guys. Not gonna say anything else. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna make another one, and I will talk about some other stuff. I'm definitely gonna look at other charts. And last but not least, so it was good to sell here. It was not bad to buy here. There's a lot of areas where it said to buy over here when it went flat, and then it said to sell over here. And then now it's getting a little hotter. I don't know what this stock will hold for the future, but I feel like the play is over. I wonder what other stocks are doing right now. All right, take care. Peace out.